the Honorable Kalsen Natano, the Prime Minister of Tuvalu, and outgoing Chair of the Pacific Islands Forum. Excellencies and colleague leaders of the Pacific, the Secretary General of the Pacific Islands Forum, people of the Blue Pacific joining us this morning via live stream. Bula Binakan, and good morning to you all. I thank you all for accepting my invitation this morning to officially begin the 51st Pacific Islands Forum and related meetings and mark our 50th anniversary as the Pacific Islands Forum. I can only hope that I will be able to continue the strong leadership that Prime Minister Natano has shown during his tenure as our chair. We, the leaders and people of the Blue Pacific, are indebted to Prime Minister Natano and the people of Tuvalu for all we have achieved in the past 2 years. They have our deepest appreciation and gratitude. I also wish to thank Dame Meg Thilan for her fortitude, her wisdom and elegance. I am indebted to her for her consistent efforts to rebuild Fiji's relationship with the Forum. Thank you too, Dame Meg, and to the government and the people of Papua New Guinea for allowing her to serve the region, which she did with passion and pride over the last 6 years. I am pleased to welcome our new Secretary General, His Excellency Henry Puna. Allow me to formally welcome you to your first leaders meeting as Secretary General. We look forward to working closely with you. Excellencies, amongst us this morning is the Honorable Fiame Naomi Matafa of Samoa. A warm welcome to you, Madam Prime Minister. It is always a proud moment when a daughter of the Pacific ascends to this high office. I know yours was not an easy passage, but we are very proud to welcome you this morning. It would be remiss of me if I did not also acknowledge your predecessor, the Honorable Tulapa, for his service to Samoa and the Blue Pacific region over the last 2 decades. I also recognize that President Louis Mapo is with us. I congratulate you on your assumption to the presidency of New Caledonia. Excellencies, our region has evolved significantly from when our founding fathers met in Wellington on the 5th to the 7th of August, 1971. That was a time of hope. Many of our island countries starting off their life as newly independent states. Today, we meet in a world that is in turmoil. We are beset by a runaway climate crisis, a raging COVID-19 pandemic, and a worsening socio-economic crisis, one you might term the perfect storm. These last 18 months has taught us lessons about the pace and nature of change and the need to respond to multiple vulnerabilities at the same time. We all have realized the importance of building consensus and working together. Our region needs bold and decisive leadership to respond to these extraordinary challenges. Despite these troubling times, there is opportunity and hope as we look to collectively recover and build back better, guided by an inclusive and consistent vision, very much akin to the inaugural forum 50 years ago. Excellencies, we are at a defining juncture in our history. Today, we commemorate 50 years of the Pacific Islands Forum, 50 years of Pacific regionalism, 50 years of collective action. We pay tribute to the vision of our founding fathers. We celebrate our success as a region like no other. Indeed, as we honor our collective achievements, it is important for us as leaders to not only reflect on how far we have come, but to also identify where we need to adapt and how we need to evolve. Collective action by sharing sovereignty has never been easy. It has, time and again, required us to put the best interest of our forum family ahead of our own national interests. As individual island states, we are small. However, together, we are stewards of our shared Blue Pacific, 1/5 of our planet's surface. We can only be ignored at the peril of those who choose to do so. Together, we have strengthened our advocacy on climate action and cemented our leadership on ocean governance. We have built an open, democratic, inclusive, and peaceful region. Our Pacific Islands Forum is the strongest demonstration of our collective aspirations and priorities, which reflects the will of the people we serve across our Blue Pacific continent. In order to continue to do so, we must address the core challenge facing our forum family. To our Micronesian brothers, I offer my deepest apologies. We could have handled this situation better, but I remain confident that we will find a way forward together. I hope this meeting provides an avenue for frank dialogue amongst us. Whilst I do not expect us to resolve our issues today, I hope our discussions will provide the guidance and wisdom required to frame our dialogue in the coming months to address our differences and renew our solidarity as one forum family. I am confident that continued ongoing dialogue will nurture understanding and infuse empathy, following which an amicable resolution will emerge. Our Pacific peoples expect this of us. I will not let them down. Notwithstanding our political challenges, our long-term aspirations and our vision on where we are headed will need to remain firmly on our horizon. There is an important lesson that I've always held on to from my years of service in our Navy. A good captain knows how to chart a course, but greater captains know how to adapt, how to read changing winds, and adapt to stormy seas. Without losing sight of their North Star, they adjust for the wind, plan for changing currents, and sail around the storms. Your Excellencies, the 2050 strategy for our Blue Pacific continent will be our North Star. As we chart our course as a region and as an organization for the next 3 decades, the 2050 strategy will personify our ambitions for a sustainable and inclusive future for all our people. It will be our shared vision. It will uphold the cultural, economic, and strategic aspirations of all peoples and states across our Blue Pacific. In a world where political decisions are increasingly settled based on geopolitical considerations, how we act as a collective and how we progress our shared priorities will define our success in protecting and lifting our peoples and communities into the future. None of us can do this alone. Excellencies, the tone The quality and the type of Pacific regionalism required to address our current and emerging challenges will be the defining aspect of the 2050 strategy. Excellencies, I had initially hoped that when we convened here in Fiji for the 51st Pacific Islands Forum, the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic would be behind us. The future is uncertain, but I'm confident that we all have our blue Pacific at heart, and together we will work through the challenges before us. Before I conclude, allow me to also thank you all on behalf of the people of Fiji for your generous support, your solidarity, and your prayers for the people of Fiji as we respond to the heartbreaking COVID-19 pandemic. We are determined to achieve 80% vaccine coverage of our eligible population by October. As we reopen our skies soon thereafter, we will look forward to welcome you all to Fiji in person over a bowl of kava in the very near future. Minakasako waleo.